We are back with you live once again on another Johnnie Torch Live broadcast. Here we are, broadcast number 202, Torch News Roundup number 174. And we don't have too many topics yet again. There isn't a whole lot to talk about with the Torch News Roundup. We have slim pickings every week. But we are here every Saturday on the only way to spend your Saturday here with us on the Johnnie Torch Live broadcast. And we have a offer for you before we get into all the topics that we have, which, let's face it, they're not few. We have an offer for you if you check out the ticker at the bottom of the screen. The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon, the Bullets Bourbon Chronicles, I am now putting them on sale at my website. In the link in the description below, you can find my website. Here it is here, if you would like to just copy that down. Check out that link and go to my website. You can check out a free preview of Bullets Bourbon's the When the Night Comes story. We still have the free preview up of that. You can check that out and let us know what you think of it. But because we're in quarantine, because we are in lockdown mode, some of us are anyway, not here, thankfully, but you got a lot of time to read. You got a lot of time to take in some of the classics. Well, one of those classics should be The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye, and the two Chronicle editions we now have on sale. When the Night Comes, a 60-page epic that it chronicles the teaming up of Carrot Top and Pencil Neck as they join forces with the fate of the nation at stake. And we also have Knock on Wood, which is going to be the first issue that Pencil Neck is introduced. And he is, the insidious mastermind of crime. He frames Bullets for a crime he did not commit. And, of course, Bullets must clear his name as he takes it on the run in disguise with a rival detective at his heels, nipping at his heels, so to speak. That's where we introduced Detective Scotch, who's a fun character in his own right. I really enjoy writing him. And, but that's not all, as Smilin' Sam would say. That's not all. We are going to throw in a pair of, I was going to say rubber gloves. I think they're latex. I don't know. If you got latex allergies or something, maybe you'd opt out of this. But I'm very concerned with everybody's safety. I'm very concerned with everyone's health, and I'm going to throw in a free pair of surgical gloves so that you can read your own copy without any concern, without any worries of the outside world done contaminating it. You can have peace of mind because I will throw in those surgical gloves so you can read the copy and pretty much do anything else with them you want. I don't know, read other books and so forth with peace of mind. And let's see. Hunter Iggy is leaving us a comment here. Thank you for joining the show, Hunter. And let's see. I thank you especially because you give me a chance to put the comments on the screen. Now that I'm using StreamYard, I can do this, and it's really cool. So now I got the comment up on the screen. Hunter asks, Johnnie Torch, have you heard anything about the casting for the Black Adam movie yet? No, unfortunately, that's the problem. A lot of news has really slowed because, the coronavirus thing going on. Not too many movies are still in production. They're kind of, tabling them right now. They're putting them on the shelf waiting for this, this crisis to pass. And so I think the Batman has suspended shooting. From what I know, I don't think any of the DCEU movies are shooting, but I don't think any of the movies are shooting right now. I know Shang-Chi is suspended its shooting. So, unfortunately, there isn't a lot of news. There isn't a lot coming out, of Hollywood or whatever about what's going on with the state of these movies. I'm pretty sure, of course, The Rock is still attached. He's still going to play Black Adam. Not sure about anything else yet. I know we've been following that. I think rumor has it, at least, that Hawkman, Hawkgirl, and I think Dr. Fate is attached to that, but no, I have not heard any casting as of yet. So, unfortunately, but when I have anything to report, I'll let you know. I'm still scouring the internet for news about all these upcoming films and projects. Whenever I can find something, I'll be happy to pass it on. But be sure to check out The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. The Bullets Bourbon Chronicles now on sale. We're taking $1 off, knock on wood, the 40-page extravaganza, and we are taking 50 cents off when the night comes, making it $10. So for $10, you get a 60-page epic when the night comes. For $8, you get a 40-page epic. You can't go wrong. You literally can't go wrong. And you also get the pair of surgical gloves per book. So there you have it. There's my sales spiel. And please, if you want to support the channel, make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you check out the link in the description below for my Twitter page. You can follow me on Twitter. Find out when the show's going to be on the air because, this is a pretty late show for a change. This is 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're doing it tonight. Usually it's a little bit earlier, but if you follow me on Twitter, you usually get an update like a half hour before I do the show if you keep up. All right, so there you have it. Also, make sure you check out the link in the description below for my website, The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. And, you can see a free preview page, a couple of free preview pages. It's the adventure of a lifetime. We're not overestimating it, or we're not having any delusions of grandeur when we say this is the greatest action adventure series of all time. So check it out in the link in the description below. Hunter Iggy asks, Johnnie Torch. Let me get it up there first. Okay. Who do you want to replace Stargirl from the DCEU Black Adam movie with? If you're talking about actress, I don't know. They have a new Stargirl TV show coming out, and that girl looks pretty good as Stargirl. I know they already had an actress playing Stargirl before in Legends of Tomorrow. I would like it if they, have the TV actors in these movies. I don't know why they have to recast them. I guess in the case of like The Flash, they already have Ezra Miller in the movie version, and I guess the same thing with Superman. I don't know. I mean, I just don't think there's a need for more than one actor. So I would say to get the actress that plays Stargirl on TV. But I don't know. I mean, anything is fine. Anything is fine with me if they get a good actress. I don't know what else to say. But thanks for the question, Hunter. And thanks for being a friend to the show. All right, we're going to talk about our first topic here. And again, I've got the chat room open. If anybody has any questions, we can go over them. Let's see. First off, the rare stories I could find, the brief news that I got. We're going to talk about the rumors of Asoka Tano going to be in The Mandalorian. And rumor has it, at least, that she is going to be played by Rosario Dawson. This is kind of interesting. I don't know. I honestly can't see Rosario Dawson as Asoka Tano. See, the thing is Asoka was kind of, I always considered her the Star Wars answer to Hannah Montana. You know what I mean? She was sort of an appeal to the little girls in the audience, and kind of like saying, well, and then of course she kind of grew out of that phase and became, a grown Jedi and so forth. But I still see her as sort of that little impish character. And that's why a lot of people are saying that Ashley, I'm forgetting her last name. She provides the voice of Ahsoka on Clone Wars and Rebels. And I kind of would like to see her play the role in the movie. I'm looking it up right now. Let me see. Ashley Eckstein. Eckstein, I guess how you pronounce her name. But I think she kind of would probably be more in terms of what I think Asoka would look like. And a lot of people are saying, well, they should dub Rosario Dawson with Ashley's voice. That's never going to happen. No, they don't get a big actress like Rosario Dawson and then try to dub her voice. But part of the problem is also, now that she's a mature Jedi at this point, she's a mature woman at least. I think, again, I'm not too familiar with the Clone Wars. I haven't watched them in a long time, but I think she left the Jedi Order and she kind of marked out on her own path, so to speak. And I think they tried to mature her up a bit, but I still don't really see. And of course, the elephant in the room is that Asoka Tano's design was basically designed to look like a Caucasian woman, the blue eyes being the dead giveaway. So there's been some what do they call it? People have been doctoring photos of Rosario Dawson to make her look like Asoka Tano, giving her the blue eyes, which just makes it look very strange. And that's why, it's preferable that you get a character, or I should say you get an actor that already has blue eyes to play the role. It's going to look very unnatural to give Rosario Dawson blue eyes. And then, of course, so that's like two strikes down. Her voice doesn't sound anything like Ahsoka, and then she doesn't have the same eye color. It's kind of like I don't really see why fans seem to be pushing for Rosario Dawson to be Asoka Tano. I don't really know why, but at the very least, this is just a rumor as of now, I believe. I'll look at the copy here. Let me see. Rosario Dawson has reportedly been cast as Asoka Tano in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. This comes via /film. I don't know what that site is, but they claim to have confirmed Dawson's casting with 2 independent sources, but were unable to verify with Lucasfilm or Dave Filoni. Because of this, we can't take the news as a certainty just yet. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed the news, suggesting that Dawson's role could lead to a spin-off show for the fan-favorite Jedi. It's only the briefest of hints, but it sounds like Dawson's episodes could serve as a backdoor pilot for an eventual Asoka Tano series. Deadline's report mentions that Dawson will not be a series regular. So, yeah, that's about it. I don't know. As I said, I'm not too deep into the Clone Wars or Rebels. I know Clone Wars is making a comeback. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on what is it on Disney Plus, I guess. But from what I remember of the character, I don't know. I really don't see Rosario Dawson as her, which she's a good actress, of course. I mean, I've got nothing against her, but I don't see her really inhabiting this role the way a different actress probably could. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you are feeling it. Do you think Rosario Dawson should play Asoka Tano? It seems to be a popular choice among fans. I don't see it, but then again, like I said, apart from Ashley Eckstein, who kind of looks like, I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of based the character a little bit on her look. She kind of looks a little bit like her. But again, let me know what you think in the comments below. And we will move on now to our next story. A bit of sad news today. Sad news this past week. We learned that Lyle Waggoner had passed on. Lyle Waggoner, of course, played Steve Trevor and Steve Trevor to boot on the original Wonder Woman TV show starring Linda Carter. March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, at the age of 84, Lyle Waggoner passed on with his wife at his side. The cause of death was cancer. Sad to hear that cancer is still a main force in causing the death of so many. But Lyle, as I've always said, you should check out, if you haven't seen it, it's one of my most popular videos, so you can't miss it on my channel. Just go to my channel, look up popular videos, where I do a retrospective on the Wonder Woman TV series. And as I said there, Lyle's job was sort of a thankless one. He had sort of a thankless role. At the beginning, he was more or less a damsel in distress. He eventually kind of got written out of most of the plots later on during the late second and definitely third season. Of course, the show started with the character being based in World War II, and Wonder Woman, of course, comes on the scene, and then the show was canceled on ABC, and which was unusual kind of for the time, but the show got picked up by CBS, and they aired the next 2 seasons, but they chose to bring it up to the then modern day, which was the 70s. And they had the problem of, how are we going to keep Lyle Waggoner as Steve Trevor? Well, the way they decided to do it was, Steve had a son, and he was, of course, Steve Jr., being played by the same actor. So Waggoner played both parts, Steve Trevor and Steve Trevor Jr. They're not doing that in the Wonder Woman 1984 film, from what I understand. I think they're going to say that he somehow comes to the future, that he didn't die, or that he somehow is, I don't know, he's brought forward in time somehow, apparently, from what we know with that film, the little we know of that film. But Lyle Waggoner, of course, was also on the Carol Burnett show for a couple of seasons. Very popular, the Carol Burnett show was back in the 70s as well. He sort of retired after Wonder Woman to selling mobile homes, from what I remember reading, which, it kept him in money, and, he had a very successful retirement from that. But he had a great authoritative voice and great all-American looks that just served the character of Steve Trevor very well. And, as I said, it being somewhat of a thankless role, he really didn't become a love interest for Wonder Woman, which was kind of an odd choice. There's been, like, behind-the-scenes speculation that he and Linda Carter didn't really get along. Linda Carter had some nice words to say about him, on Twitter. She said that they had met recently in, I think, 2018 for a get-together or something. So it was nice to hear that they were still on good terms, but I don't know, apparently his role was reduced for that reason. He became less a love interest and more sort of like an uncle figure, I think. He sort of kept his eye on Diana Prince from the bench, you know what I mean? He was like a desk jockey for most of that second season, and definitely the third season. But again, he was a icon. He was a DC Comics icon. And lest we forget, let me check this out here. Lest we forget, Lyle Waggoner was also up for the role of Batman in the 1960s, before the role went to Adam West. And of course, Burt Ward became Robin, but he was up with another actor who was up for the role of Robin. And, I think the right role went to the right guy. I mean, he was a very capable actor, of course. He could have done a very capable Batman and Bruce Wayne, but I think Adam West was just sort of made for that role, for that 60s Batman. I think he was, the way he played that Batman was so particular. It's very much like trying to see someone else play Captain Kirk. William Shatner had a certain way about him that, you couldn't really duplicate it. You could only kind of imitate it. And Lyle would have played Batman very differently, I think. Differently than we are accustomed to Adam West playing the role. But again, the right actor went to the right role. I couldn't see Adam West playing Steve Trevor either. He got the right role there too. So, Once again, very sad to see the passing of Lyle Waggoner, the original Steve Trevor, and, just a great part of DC live action lore, particularly. Wonder Woman, of course, being one of the first broadcast shows of DC Comics characters. Of course, there was George Reeves' Superman, there was Adam West's Batman, and then there was Wonder Woman. So you're looking at it that way. He is coming really early into the golden age, so to speak, of comic book television. He's still in that golden age. All right, so yes, rest in peace, Lyle Waggoner, our first Steve Trevor. Alrighty, so unfortunately, that is not the only passing that has happened recently. We're going to talk about, for a brief minute here, Kenny Rogers passed on. Yes, Kenny Rogers. No, not the baseball one. This is the legendary singer. And, I can't profess to be a huge fan where I know all his songs, but, of course, anybody and everybody knows The Gambler. I mean, come on. He's a legend on that song alone. And, Kenny Rogers broke even, as they say. And let's see, according to the copy, Kenny Rogers, the Grammy-winning balladeer with such hits as Lucille, Lady, and Islands in the Stream with Dolly Parton, passed on Friday night at the age of 81. He was under hospice care and died of natural causes. From what I understand, he was in ill health for some time. I think it was an undisclosed illness. Maybe it was a cardiovascular thing because, for them to say he died of natural causes, usually that just means his heart stopped. So I'm not sure about that. Of course, he was in, what was the name of the band? The First Edition? Yeah, it wasn't New Edition, right? Because that was Bobby Brown. Yeah. Yeah, it was I think it was the First Edition. Yeah, and he had a couple of hits there. Let's see. Hunter Iggy says, don't forget about Danger Zone. No, that was Kenny Loggins. Yeah, that was Kenny Loggins that did that. Yeah, because that was kind of what I was thinking too. I was thinking, what else does he sing? And it was like 2 or 3 songs that I thought he sang, and it wasn't really him singing them. I got confused about it too. But yeah, he also did Coward of the County. What was the other one? He did I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in. That's one of my favorites. That's one of my Kenny Rogers favorites when he was with First Edition. Ruby. What was the other one? You Decorated My Life. I mean, I heard all these songs from the backseat of the car when I was a kid. So, I mean, Kenny's voice is also the soundtrack of my life as well, because, my mother listened to the easy listening stations all the time. And, those stations were ripe with Kenny Rogers, Lionel Richie, Neil Diamond, Barry Manilow. I mean, you get a lot of, that what I call Wish music, because it was on Wish 99.1. I'll never forget that. Heard that constantly. My mistake. No, it's no problem. Yeah, because I made the same mistakes myself with some of them. I thought he sang. I thought he sang "Wouldn't Have Missed It for the World." I don't know who sang that. It was another country-sounding singer, and I looked it up, but he doesn't sing that. So sometimes there are songs that we kind of think maybe it was him and it wasn't because they sound similar, or something to that effect. Let me take a sip of H2O. My apple cider vinegar H2O. Yeah. But if I remember correctly, Kenny also did, I think he did 3 movies of The Gambler. I'm not sure if it was 3 or 4, but he did like made-for-TV movies of The Gambler, which I seen like 1 or 2 of them. I can't remember. But this was like in the 80s. Of course, I think he had a variety show. I remember when I was fairly young, but I think I was like preteen or something, and he did a show with Dolly Parton. So he had a pretty he had a pretty strong following. He had a pretty full life, which is, really cool. But, it's always sad when you see a legendary personality leave us like this. So, once again, R.I.P. Kenny Rogers, a great singer, and, will always be remembered as one of the greats in country music. His appeal crossed over to so many. I mean, the Bee Gees wrote songs for him. Islands in the Stream was one of them. I think they wrote a whole album for him. Or it might have been just Barry Gibb, but again, very, very prolific career for the late Kenny Rogers. So, once again, thank you, Kenny, and R.I.P. All right, so that seems to be about all we have here for today. Any more questions? No, I don't think we have any more questions, unfortunately. But, if you have a comment, leave a comment in the comments below. As usual, try to find some other things, some other topics to talk about in the coming days. I've got some comic book reviews I've been saying I want to do. So many things to do, but no time to do them. We're still working on the Bullets Bourbon Remaster #1. It is still in the works. I was hoping it would be done by April. Probably won't be. But, it is what it is. As long as it gets done properly is all that matters. It's going to come out probably in May now at this point, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep you all abreast of the situation. And also, again, there is really no news coming out because of the coronavirus upheaval that's been going on with the world. So there really isn't a whole lot to talk about in these live streams. I try to do some drawing streams, so tune in for that if you are so inclined, where we just talk about whatever comes to mind, whatever news of the day is, on my mind. And also, I don't know, I think some of the movies are in jeopardy here. I mean, I think Black Widow has been struck from the May release. No one knows when that's going to be back on the docket. From what I hear, it's still up in the air whether Wonder Woman 84 is going to be canceled or postponed. I think they're pushing for a postponement to, I forget if it's August or something like that. Hopefully this whole business will be over with within the next couple weeks and we won't have to worry about major postponements and cancellations. So before we go, again, check out the link in the description below, The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye, the all-ages action-adventure classic, where we have 2 collections on sale for you. Knock on Wood, 40 pages for $8, plus a free pair of surgical gloves. Also, When the Night Comes, the epic 60-page extravaganza, which pits Bullets Bourbon against 2 of his most deadly enemies, Pencil Neck and Carrot Top, as their goal is world domination, and a free pair of surgical gloves with them as well. So, like I said, you're going to have plenty of time in your hands to read. We'll get these out to you ASAP. And you will have peace of mind reading them with your free complimentary copy of surgical gloves. All right, and so until next we meet on the only way to spend your Saturday here with us, this is Johnny Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.